Hi, I'm Afonso Russell, and this is Your Journey at Sonae, the brand new podcast brought to you by the Young Talent Community. Every month, we'll discover one amazing Sonae and discover the ins and outs of what it's like to work at this company and what really drives us to the next step. If you want to discover more, just stick around and discover what could be yours and Paulo's journey. Today, we have Paulo Pinho, Area Coordinator of Supply Chain Analytics and Planning of MC. Was that right?
Yes, right.
And is someone who loves karate, plays guitar since the age of 8 years old, and sometimes can be good at paddle. Paulo, is your job like what we see in the movies? Big screens with huge amounts of data and code going fast for your eyes?
Not quite like that. So my job at the moment, as we were speaking at the off, is actually more meetings than numbers and big screens now. But our job is about numbers. So we have to work with numbers, and we can't work with thousands of numbers in a paper. We cannot work with those basic tools. We actually try to use numbers as we were speaking before, also to our favor, not just to help other teams, but we use numbers to manage. So we are actually always looking to numbers, seeing how they're evolving, and it's a very complex.
So
work.
You need to be very attentive to details, right? Fuck an eye to analyze everything.
Yes, actually, at the supply chain, we have to be the two things. So we have to have a broad view of the whole supply chain, which is enormous, but we also have to go to the details and to see what's wrong, to see what's right, to tell other teams how can they improve or alert them to do something.
And what inspired you to pursue this career?
So I think it happened not very proactively. So it happened in a natural way. So I started my master's degree was in industrial engineering and management at FEUP, Faculdade de Engenharia da Universidade do Porto, which was an area that had lots of different courses and a broad perspective of the world, so to speak, and a broad set of opportunities. So an industrial engineer can do lots of things. None of them very specialized, very 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 generalized, but lots of things. And my first work experience was actually in my master thesis.
Call for Solutions, right?
Call for Solutions. Which we in industrial engineer we used to do practical internships at companies, and I applied to Sonae to Call for Solutions, and fortunately I got in Sport Zone to do my master thesis.
Do you think it was a valuable experience as a student?
Yes, it is definitely a valuable experience. I recommend students to take as many experiences that as possible before going to work, but I didn't actually as a student did that, and it wasn't because of that things went wrong. So, but as a student, we have a different view of the world, and so if we can try one or two companies before applying for a more serious job in the future, I think it is a good opportunity. For my master thesis, it was in fact that first work experience, but still very shielded from the reality of work. So an intern with a coordinator always having my back, and a leader behind me trying to help me structure my work. That's really important. So Call for Solutions people, master thesis people, intern people really need to have a leader all the time backing them up, supporting them, structuring their work.
There
That's
was
really
margin
important.
for error and mistake then.
Yes, totally. So when I think I can speak for all companies now. When we try to get an intern or an internship, we're not expecting to at the end of that internship to have the results delivered as we have in the normal project. So we expect to raise knowledge, to get knowledge, to try, to error, to fail, to learn, and to then in the future use that knowledge to implement big stuff.
Okay, and then what happened after that Call for Solutions program?
So after that Call for Solutions, or in the middle of the Call for Solutions, which was happening really fast and really good, the Contacto program was launched, and me and my other colleague that also was in the Call for Solutions, we went to our boss, and we said, okay, it's Contacto time. Contacto is happening right now, so we need to understand if we want to apply or not. What do you think? And I'm very grateful for Miguel. It was Bruno Pereira and Miguel Diaz back then, our bosses, and I'm very grateful to them because they were very honest, very selfless, and they said, okay, so right now we are not sure if we can admit you after your internship at Sports Zone, so we're not sure. So please do apply to Contacto and try your best to get into a job offer that you would like. And so I applied to Contacto, and it went really well. So we can discuss it later. But I really think that the Contacto process, recruitment process, is extraordinary. And it really went well. I got matched, as we say in Contacto, with a really different area at Sonae. It was in MC, which is the company that I am right now.
The food retailer, right?
The food retailer. And it was in the logistics and supply chain department as a business analyst role. And I'm in that area since then. So it's an area that obviously, fortunately, it has been amazing for me.
Yeah, but getting back to that time, and you already mentioned the recruitment process. Do you have memories of that recruitment process, of the onboarding days?
Yeah, so first, incredibly nervous all the time. So
Okay.
we need to just to present our pitches. Now we do it. I think we still do it in a remote way.
Yeah.
But back then it was all physical. So all contactors came here to Maya, and in one day we had to present our pitches to everybody. We had to do the interviews with the business leaders, and we have to decide in the same day the ranking that we would.
So a full packed day. Then.
Yeah, full back then. So back then it was. I think the pressure was higher, and the probability of mistakes higher too. So I think that we have evolved into something even better now, as a recruiter now, not as an intern. But I think that we are evolving, and that's really good.
And talking about that nervous day, I thought it was multiple days. Like my experience, it was at least one day and then remote interviews on the next days. But I see that's a full-on experience. Also, the ranking part, we managed to get some photos of that time. Do you remember this? You are writing live on a whiteboard. What was that?
I don't remember the question.
The question.
That's something that unfortunately it happens to me a lot. So my memory is terrible. If I don't write it, if I don't photograph it, if I don't document it, I'll probably forget.
But you think it was a life-changing moment?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. And on the onboarding day, you were listening to the speech of the CEO at the time, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember some of the words or what inspired you the most? What advices were you expecting to get to start your Contacto career?
So, a curious thing about this day, Belmiro de Azevedo was also here. I think
Really?
was still here in this day. So I think that they have always invested a lot in new knowledge. They value knowledge a lot. They value innovation a lot, and they value young people a lot. So the Contacto program is a program that already exists for a long time, and because I think as Sonae we always value the innovation and the knowledge and the education. And we felt very comfortable, very confident that we were there at Sonae not as to learn, but also to innovate, to challenge, to bring new ideas that only young people could, in a more actively way.
Do you feel that puts some pressure on us, young people, to bring that fresh perspective to the company?
I think so, and also as society, I think that young people need to step up to say we're here. We have our way of thinking. We are a different generation. We have different values. We have lots of different things like sustainability, and we really need to impose ourselves in some way. So yeah, pressure is there, but it's a nice pressure. It's a motivating pressure.
A motivational pressure, right. And have you kept in touch with the other trainees of your generation?
Some trainees, yes. Unfortunately, some of them aren't at Sonae, so
at the moment,
young people tend to rotate a lot. So turnover is something that we know that happens. Not something that Sonae pushes. So Sonae tries to push for the retention as much as possible. So when, at least myself, when I'm recruiting in the last years, I always say this in a clear way to my possible interns, which is I expect you to be in my team for at least 2 years. So I'm not expecting to have an internship and then you leave. So we are investing in people. We want them to stay, but it is the market working, and young people need to rotate more, and something that happens naturally. But yeah, I kept in touch with some of them, and some of them still work close to me.
What were the drivers? What motivated you to keep going in Sonae?
So people say that I tend to be very loyal. I always thought that our workplace, our culture was in a modern place. So the values that we applied, it was really in a modern place. And I just want to contribute as well. So I think Sonae is doing a good job with me. I want to contribute as much as possible to Sonae to deliver, to add value, to add something new.
Good to know about that dynamic nature of the company, since I'm also a trainee, so I expect new experiences and also that mentality, that mindset. And after, just to keep on track of your journey, after Contacto, you continued on the data analytics team, right, at MC, and now you are a business leader. How did that happen? Oh, what were your steps to get there?
Yeah, so after 5 years as a business analyst, I moved to coordinate the same team that I was. So looking back, let me just say that I am very grateful to my two bosses when I was a business analyst, with Marcos Espanhol and Luís Nunes, because both of them encouraged me a lot, challenged me a lot, gave me a lot of autonomy, and made me grow in a way that as a leader, I think that I'm not in the level that they were. They are actually, and so I'm very grateful to them to make me grow that way. And I did the contact to internship. I got in as a business analyst, and it just happened to naturally I assumed more and more responsibilities. I started to be more senior at a team that was rotating a lot. So the analytics part and all areas, but the analytics area is an area that is competing a lot with other companies. It's growing a lot, and we cannot actually compete with all companies. So it's normal to have more turnover than other teams, and we did have that turnover, and I started to become senior. The senior guy, the guy that you ask for technical stuff, for advices, for organization. And I started to instead of learning so much, started to teaching more my other colleagues, and to helping them to move forward, and that made me grow a lot. Also, my second boss, Luis Nunes, actually got in at the team after me, so I helped him to understand the technical side, the organization side, and he in return helped me a lot in growing, and made me questions like are we doing the things that we should do, what things should we do. And he made me think about these topics and made me grow in a way that a normal business analyst probably wouldn't. So I'm very grateful to them for that. And
so
then
there was that part of support, but also you learned a lot from the person that you were reporting and asking questions. Do you think that that part of getting new knowledge from the experience is a valuable part in your journey?
Yes, very, very valuable experience. Knowledge it's what actually differentiates us from others, and at least for my point of view, that's my main goal as a selfish way to see a career, is to learn the most I can and about everything. That's my selfish goal, I would say.
And that's on the technical side. But in terms of personal experience and leadership, do you think the advanced development program that you took part made a difference?
Yes, so the advanced development program was 2 years ago. It is a program that we do in partnership with the Nova Business School.
Okay.
Where we have Sonae leaders and the professors, which are highly experienced and highly skilled, to assemble a resume that they think it's worth it for us to go. They choose here at Sonae a bunch of young people, talented young people that have potential, as we usually say. And it was an incredibly valuable experience, because not only we got to know other colleagues at Sonae, and we built a network around it, but also we had contact with people that really knew a lot about. We also had actually courses, technical courses like accountability or things like that in Nova, and it was challenging.
So it was a full range experience.
Full range. We talked about technical stuff. We talked about the future. We talked about organizational skills, leadership skills, communication skills. It was a full package.
And the end result was something like this, right? I also have more photos, right? we dig them deeper to
Big brother. Yeah.
And you also have some of your classmates. Was there a project, something like that?
Yes. So besides the courses, we had a group project where we had to innovate. We had to bring a new idea, and we have to use the design thinking methodology behind it to structure the idea, to go through all the process, to brainstorm, to benchmark, to understand who are our customers, and to then present the pitches to Sonae board, which was really interesting and challenging, but totally worth it.
And the chef's kiss, the cherry on top, is the certification, but also that part of getting innovation into the company and get something new into the company. So you also add a real impact post this program, right?
Yeah. So I don't value certification a lot. So what I value is knowledge. So if people have knowledge, it doesn't matter if they have or not the paper. But yeah, we felt that we contributed to Sonae, but we also knew that we were raising our level, so we could in the future help more Sonae and to help us individually also evolve.
And talking now as your role as business leader, your challenges, you talked about what do you expect from an intern, from a contacto, that's part of new ideas, fresh looks, innovation, someone to challenge you. But in terms of your leadership, what are your challenges to lead a team? Because you pass from a team member to someone that actually, as a team, as your responsibility, what are your main challenges? This can be on a technical side or from a personal side.
So lots of challenges, and I'm still far from what I want to be in the future. Mm-hmm. I think that I have still a lot to grow and to learn. So the social side, it's completely different. So we have to manage the expectations of the organization. I have to manage expectations from my bosses, from my colleagues, and from my team. We have to motivate them constantly. So we lead them in a way that they can by themselves push the company forward. So not in a forced way. We have to in an intentionally way. We have to motivate them to succeed by themselves and not push them so hard. So the social side of being a coordinator is completely different and challenging, and I still have a lot to learn in terms of maturity, emotional intelligence. Those are skills that probably aren't as valued as when we are a business analyst.
Such like programming, technical stuff.
Yeah, but as a leader, we have a completely set of new skills that we have to attend. And the technical side actually hasn't been a problem for me. I'm very comfortable, and it actually happened intentionally. So when I decided to accept the challenge of becoming the business leader of the team, I knew that it would be probably the best chance that I had to be comfortable with the technical side and the organizational side that I already knew as very well as a business analyst, and so I only had to grow in the social part of it and the leadership part, because the technical part was something that it was natural to me.
You needed to balance that data-driven personality with some more human side of business decisions. And talking about this data-driven personality, there were some changes in the last couple of years with artificial intelligence, ChatGPT just recently. Do you think that poses a risk to your area, or there's an opportunity to seize?
Yes, that's an excellent question where we don't have a full answer yet to give.
There's no answer yet.
Yeah, there's no answer. There is no right answer. But because we know that analytics is evolving at the speed of light, at a dazzling speed, and it's happening because of two reasons. One, because the technological part of it, the computing power and the scalable the resources that we have, that we can put one machine or 100 machines in a matter of seconds with cloud, and we can put a lot more resources in the models. That makes analytics evolve in a way that it wasn't possible 50 years ago. And other thing that makes analytics grow really fast, and I think that other areas should learn from it, is the community, the side of it. So I think that the community is working really well in sharing their advances. So it's not a siloed knowledge. So people share the knowledge, the difficulties, the good results, and the whole world together is evolving at a much faster pace because of that. So and that's why analytics is growing so fast. And answering to your question, I think that at least for now, we know that there are two areas that humans are essential. One area is the context, so machines aren't still able to understand the context, and so we need humans to translate the context and the business problems into analytics problems. So we need to say to our machines what are the business problem, what is the driver, what we want to achieve. To say what we want and to build what we want, and then to interpret the results that come out of that machine, which is a really important part of it. And we are growing some conscience about that, because there are definitely some values and ethically stuff around artificial intelligence, and we really need the human side to put some perspective and to understand that a machine, to understand what a machine is doing, what bias that machine has, and how can we interpret that bias and minimize them as much as possible.
So we still are the bridge. Good to know that. I'll be here for a few years then, but the $1 million question will still have to be answered. And just to wrap up our conversation, we have some quick fire questions. The limit is a short answer. Can I give you this challenge?
Let's go for it.
Sonae is
a leader in every competence.
A book to read on holidays.
Any non-fiction book that makes us put in a personal perspective of other person and to see how they think and how they feel.
Not a short answer, but I'll accept it. A song to listen to.
Chill mix from Spotify.
An idol or a reference.
Don't have it. I think that a mix of people. No one is perfect.
A motto.
Don't have it. If I would have to say to be better every day, to learn from it, but I don't have a motto. I'm still trying to think, because I think it's a powerful way to work. I searched. I want to build from a sentence that I saw the other day to reach the soul of an artist, to have the soul of an artist. So I want to build on that.
And do you recommend Contacto?
Definitely.
Favorite part of your job?
The people.
And with that, I will ask you, not a short answer this time, what legacy would you like to leave at Sonae?
Tough question. I would say that the legacy that I would want is to people see ambition as not a selfish way of going through a career, but ambition as a selfless way to want to that the company to drive, to want to add value to the company, and to do that in an honest way, and with a smile, and have the returns on that. So a selfless ambition with a smile.
I think that resumes this conversation. Thank you, Paulo, for sharing your journey with us.
Thank you for having me.
You can start your journey at Sonae too. Just check all the opportunities we have at our Instagram page, Sonae Young Talent. If you want to listen to this episode or more, just check your favorite podcast platforms or watch Sonae's YouTube channel. Stick around and see you next time.